Chapter 11. Help. October. Being homeless was a struggle. Getting food was the biggest one. I had no money since Dad didn't give me any time to grab any. For the first couple days I starved. I supposed it was good for my weight. Not so great for my energy though. Constantly moving around and staying out of trouble is hard when you've got no energy. Trying desperately to survive, I attempted to get a job. Sadly, Beatrice ruined all my chances of that. Those little rumors she spread were my downfall, and now nobody would hire me. Most days I cowered in alleyways. I wasn't about to be seen or found. Truth be told, I hoped I would just peacefully pass away. Life was too hard. First the gender issues, then the binging, and now homelessness. What else could go wrong? No, wait, cold. Of course, the cold and rainy weather was setting back in. Perfect. Just what I needed. One really cold day, I was trying to warm myself up by walking around the local park that Mom and I used to go to. Sitting around on concrete wasn't helping with the cold, so I figured some activity would help at least a bit. It was actually beginning to help a bit. Other than my hands that were like ice, the rest of my body was starting to warm up. To try and warm up my hands too, I tucked them under my armpits for warmth as I walked. After a couple of laps, I finally warmed up enough to sit down on one of the nearby benches and save some energy. With the lack of food, I had to be careful with how much I walked. Quietly, I curled up on the bench and did my best to keep the heat. It was quite nice to not be sitting on the cold cement and freezing cold for once, a luxury that I haven't felt in a while. As I enjoyed the heat, someone joined me on the bench. At first, I showed no interest. Somehow, though, I felt as if they were staring at me. Most people felt the need to stare at homeless people, but this stare was different. I couldn't explain it, but it just was. Curiously, I glanced over at who it was, and it was my mother. My heart nearly skipped a beat, and it looked like hers nearly did the same. "Mom? Adam!" she cried as she pulled me into a hug. "Oh my God, I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. You're okay." Well, I was still in shock. "Oh my gosh, I've missed you. Are you okay? Oh, nobody's hurt you, have they?" I'm okay." I nodded a bit. "It's just a struggle, I guess." "Well, no doubt. Your dad shoved you out without any notice at all," Mom said. "He didn't even give you time to grab money." Yeah. "I'm really happy you're okay. I can't say it enough." Mom smiled sadly as she cupped my cheek. "I wish I could bring you back home, but I can't." It's okay," I sighed. "I can figure things out." "I'll be here to help. Whatever you need, I'll help with. Actually, on that note, I have some spare money that I carry with me just in case. Here, take it." "Oh no, Mom, I couldn't." "Take it." Mom pulled it out of her pocket and placed it in my hand. Before I could give it back, she pushed my hand towards me. "Get yourself some food. You look really sickly." I sighed as I placed it in my pocket. This was a fight I couldn't win. "Thanks, Mom." "No problem, dear," Mom smiled. For the next hour or so, Mom and I talked. Reluctantly, I told her about the past couple weeks and how hellish they were. Hearing it only made her more determined to help. Dad absolutely did not want me home, but that couldn't stop Mom from helping. From that day forth, we started meeting every week so she could check up on me and give me anything I needed, whether it be money, clothes, or food. At first, things began to look up, but of course, things can never stay the same with me, and once more, I fell back into binging. All my money went towards food. I would lie to Mom and tell her that I spent it on other things. Whenever I could, I would gorge on food. It was extreme enough that once more I started packing on the weight. That was when Mom got suspicious and I finally had to admit to my lies. Was she happy about it? Of course not, but she was willing to help however she could. Unfortunately, there wasn't much she could do. If I didn't have money, I would steal. Thank God I never got caught for it, because that would have worried Mom so much. I was already giving the poor woman white hair. At the rate I was stressing her out, she was going to have a whole head of white hair by next month. The cycle kept repeating. Binge, cry, hate me, try to stop, fail, repeat. Mom tried everything she could, but I was unstoppable. If she could have been there 24/7, I knew she would have been, but the reality was she couldn't be. Dad would have gotten way too suspicious. He didn't know that we were meeting up, and we planned to keep it that way, so Mom had to be careful.